Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Complete Sports Media's podcast. I'm your host, Darren Campbell, coming to you on a Labor Day, one of my favorite holidays of the year, good old Labor Day. And of course, we're doing a weekend wrap up here. We've got Jason Cameron in to give his expertise. We got some great things to talk about. Oh man, UFC was a fantastic card this weekend. NFL is finally back. We had to wait from February to September. It's way too long of a wait. Finally, it's NFL opening week of the season, Thursday, the big opening night. And yeah, let's get right into it, Jason. First of all, how was your Labor Day long weekend? You told me that you were going to chill out. Is that what was on the menu and on the schedule?
Yes, absolutely. It was just a bunch of chilling out. I really took it easy. Got a lot of rest. Got a workout here and there over the holidays, but it was just I was just chilling on the couch, taking it very easy. It was very nice.
Yeah, I did a lot of the same. I had injured my eye on Thursday at work. They said I scratched my eyeball pretty severely. Was having a hard time keeping it open, seeing. I was feeling a lot of pain, so I didn't work Friday because of it. So I ended up getting a 4-day weekend, but Friday was just terrible. I felt bad. I couldn't see properly. I had to go look for a doctor. I couldn't go to a doctor except emergency, and I didn't want to bother with emergency, so I went to an optometrist, and it's probably the first time I've ever been to an optometrist like that. They were really good, really helpful. It was very inexpensive. It cost me like $20, and they did a massive, thorough exam of my eye and gave me all the things I needed to, help it get better. But I guess with with you having glasses, you've been to optometry before. I've never been, but I was super impressed. I was very blown away how great they were.
Well, that's actually, I'm going to be honest, that's the first time I've ever heard of somebody going to optometrist because of a scratch to the retina. That's actually very outside the box thinking. So congratulations on that. It's good for you. And then yes, I've had to deal with an optometrist all my life because my eyes are not very good. I don't see very well. I'm not like you that's been blessed. It's like I got 20/20 vision or 21/20, whatever it is, your eagle eyes that you have that you were born with. I do not have that. I have the exact opposite. Exact opposite. I can't see anything.
Yeah, no, yeah, I was sitting in there thinking, wow, I've never entered this world before. This is pretty wild. And all these people kept coming in and talking about glasses. And I'm looking at all these glasses on the walls and seeing all these terms that I'd never heard about. I was like, oh, this is weird. This is bizarre. And then they did such a thorough check that I thought they were going to say like, okay, you actually need glasses, buddy. Something's wrong here. We can tell, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, no, they didn't say that. They're just like, great eyesight, just those scrapes on your eyeball, they'll be painful. They could get infected. So we better take some antibiotics and, gave me a whole bunch of, things to do, get some drops and all that. And, but it was great. It was a very smart maneuver on my part. And yeah, by Saturday, I felt like I was doing pretty good. Friday was pretty terrible. I went to this concert. I had tickets for this concert, and it put a bit of a damper on it because my eye was hurting the whole time. Happy I went because I would have felt a lot of FOMO not being there. But man, it was really too bad that it happened right before this show that I went to.
Yeah, that sucks. That puts a damper, especially like you're visually trying to watch a show and one of your eyes is not working. Really sucks. Really sucks. But I'm glad to see that you're doing well now. It seems like you're doing very well now.
Yeah, no, I healed up great. Really happy. I'm happy there wasn't a big cut or there wasn't something severely, wrong vision wise by me or nothing like that. So I mentioned right off the top that I love Labor Day, one of my favorite holidays. I was kind of trying to look into the history of Labor Day, and all I could find out was this one crazy rant this guy went on. So he said that um, Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, and Halloween witches all got together one day, and they were trying to figure out putting another holiday together. And all of a sudden, all the witches went into labor, and they started having to deliver babies. And then they like, hey, let's just call this Labor Day, or we'll make it a holiday just like the other holidays that we sort of run. And yeah, they just ran with it. Pretty interesting holiday. I've been enjoying it every year since.
Very interesting how that Labor Day came about. This is the first time I'm hearing of that story, so this is a first for me. Very good, very good.
Nice. Yeah, actually, I think it actually has to do with unions, and yeah, is that am I right about that, about being about unions?
I don't think it was because of the witches getting pregnant and being in labor. So I think it
Okay,
might be closer to the other thing that you just mentioned. Yeah.
okay. Well, you you and I are part of union, and happy we are. So even though it bothers me, it's kind of weak. It doesn't do the everything that we want it to do. At least it's there, stopping the companies that can put a lot of problems, or can cause a lot of problems for employees and stuff. And happy I'm part of a union. Wish it was stronger, but I think Labor Day was created by the unions to give us that last holiday before going back to school, sort of going back to reality, end of summer type of thing.
Yeah, it always kind of marks the end of your summer because it's just like it's kind of like the reset, which is we're gonna give you an extra day just so that you can come to terms of this is where it gets real. Now you're going to work. Now you got to make sure that the kids are going to school. Now you got to get your head down, put your head down for the next couple of months until Christmas comes, and then you can have another break.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of kids probably crying tonight while they're watching this podcast. There'll be so much tears. The whole entire summer is done. Probably most kids are going to be like, where did it go? Why didn't I do more? I was too lazy. What the heck? Do you remember the end of summer being a pretty sad day as you had to go back to school on Tuesday?
Yeah, well, yeah, it was always a thing. But as you get older and older, then it becomes less and less of a thing. And then when you're in college and university, you're just like, all right, well, I just gotta kind of go do this stuff. And then you get lucky enough to enter the working world where nothing changes. Just go to work every day.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. Yeah, it's not the same, but yeah, I feel sorry for you kids. But hey, it's another year. You'll see a lot of friends, probably new kids, get into another year closer to being an adult. And yeah, then this holiday won't mean anything. The going back to school thing won't matter anymore. Um, I watched a ton of sports this weekend. I chilled out, got to see F1 was great. Max Verstappen has extended his lead. Watched a lot of Cameron's F1 podcast and qualifying and all the things he does. Loved it as always. Blue Jays were on a massive winning streak here. They swept the Pirates and took a doubleheader today from the Orioles. Amazing weekend, won all 5 games, and really started solidifying themselves into a playoff position. It's becoming baseball fever around here through Canada, all across the country, and I'm enjoying it a ton. Did you see any of the action?
I missed out on the Blue Jays action, to be honest with you. But I'm very glad to hear that they're actually on a high as opposed to a low, and they're not on a losing streak. They're winning some games, and well, whenever the Blue Jays are successful, all of Canada's behind them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's unique. You wouldn't have believed when you turned on to the broadcast from Pittsburgh. you wouldn't have believed how many Jays fans were there. They were outnumbering the Pirates fans by maybe 10-1. It was crazy. You saw it when you went down to Seattle. It might not have been that much in favor of the Jays compared to the Mariners fans, but holy cow, there was very few Pirates fans, and all the rest were filling the stadium were Jays fans. It was awesome. It was mind blowing how many Blue Jays fans made the trek down there. I think they said it's about a 5-hour drive, something like that.
Okay, well, you know what? Blue Jays fans do travel. I think they've proven that time and time again. And like you said, it's actually pretty close. Well, it's not too far away. It's not out of the realm of possibility to drive down to Pittsburgh for a game. But at the same time, it looks like there's more Blue Jays fans than Pittsburgh fans right now, for sure.
Yeah, Pittsburgh's struggling as usual, really. And but yeah, the Jays went down there in full force. Jays have 30 games left out of 162. They played Baltimore twice today. They've got 8 more games against Baltimore, who's chasing them. They've got 9 more against Tampa Bay. They're tied right now with Tampa Bay in the standings. 3 more against the Yankees, 3 more against the Red Sox. And out of 30 games, they're playing, 23 against their division rivals. So pretty crazy. 1 game behind Seattle. Seattle's still in a good position in the top wild card playoff position. And it'd be great if both Seattle and Toronto can make it. Be great for people here that are baseball fans on the Pacific Northwest. A lot of guys love Mariners. A lot of people cheer for Mariners and Blue Jays here.
Yeah, because they're just so close to each other. Well, in the relative scheme of baseball, where the teams are and stuff like that, and especially for us here in BC, where it's so close to go watch the Mariners play and stuff. So here, I'm sure there's a lot of Mariners fans as well. So it would benefit us if they both made it into the playoffs for sure.
Definitely, yeah. So we had to wake up early on Saturday morning. They had the first ever UFC card from Paris, France. Finally in France. It was illegal in France until 2020. Finally was able to get its status and get regulated. And they were able to finally put the UFC there. Now that there are quite a few French fighters in the UFC. And especially the main attraction, the heavyweight Cyril Gane, one of the top heavyweight fighters in the world, was on in the main event. And man, it was exciting and fun. I felt like I felt when I watched that London card a few months back. But this was great. Must have been so great for a fan of mixed martial arts to finally have #1 promotion there. And all 5 French fighters got a victory. Man, those people must have just left there thinking that was one of the best days of their lives.
Great energy. The whole stadium had fantastic energy. You could feel it coming through the TV. And it was just like you said, it reminded us of the English card where Aspinall was against Volkov for the main event. It was fantastic. I was super pumped just watching the fights and how they played out. I was like going back to being like a fan and just being like just cheering and just being like, oh, this is awesome. This is awesome.
Yeah, it's so great when the UFC can break new barriers and break new ground, going to different countries and there's probably a lot of people that did attend that maybe have just dipped their toe into the water of MMA and mixed martial arts, UFC, and finally got to see it live. When you see cards like that, when you see big events live, it just really solidifies your fandom, and especially young kids, to be there, to feel the energy, to hear the crowd roaring. I know that there's going to be so many more French fighters coming, so many more French fans. It's going to be just huge for the UFC to be able to go there and put on such an amazing card.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic, and also too, I hope this leads the UFC to going to more countries and just exposing more people to like the just the fantastic nature of mixed martial arts in all of these countries, because you can just see like, I didn't know that the French people had so many fans that are of the UFC or of mixed martial arts. I did not know that. But then by just watching that show, watching those people, those fans in that stadium, you know that it's huge over there. And thank goodness that the government finally said do away with that nonsense law of theirs that, like, you know, that mixed martial arts is dangerous or whatever they had going on there, because this is what it is. It's a sport and it brings a lot into your economy. So why would you not have it?
Yeah, sure did. Yeah, it was great. It was a fight night. Sometimes the fight nights, they're not stacked throughout. I thought there was a lot of great matchups put on this card. A lot of great fighters from Europe, from other places around the world. A couple Canadians on the card, French Canadian, which was good. I see George St. Pierre in the crowd. He got a big roaring ovation. I have always heard that French people don't love how much the Quebecois have sort of bastardized the French language and have really not held the tradition of the esteemed French language as well. But Benoit Saint Denis, he got massive. We got. I mean, I saw and heard huge cheers for the French Canadians, which was unexpected and really nice too.
Yeah, that was unexpected, especially like the loud roar that they gave to GSP. But let's be honest, it's GSP. I think he's absolutely beloved wherever he goes on the globe or on the planet. So, and also too, he's just an easy guy to root for. So I was just happy to see that the French people were up behind some of the French Canadians that were there, either watching as a fan or on the card.
Yeah. So this was great because it was some of the top prospects. It was number 1 against number 3 in the heavyweight division. It was number 1 against number 2 in the middleweight division with Robert Whittaker against Marvin Vettori. It was number 1 against number 2 of the German fighters in the middleweight division as well. So we saw a lot of top prospects and the possibility of these guys winning and getting a title shot, getting an opportunity at the title. So Cyril Gane and Tai Tuivasa, incredible battle. You see them both walk into the cage, and if you were an untrained eye, hadn't seen either guy fight, you would be like, oh my God, this is an absolute mismatch. Here's a fat kind of looking guy over here against this behemoth looking Adonis. And Tai Tuivasa had him in trouble at one point, knocked him down. If he landed a couple of those shots as he went on the attack, maybe he gets that victory. But once Gane started realizing how much his kicks to the midsection were causing Tuivasa problems, he just was relentless on kicking him and kicking him and kicking him some more to really zap the gas tank, take the energy and steam right out of Tuivasa so he could eventually finish him off.
Yeah, and it was that second round where all the craziness happened, because the one thing that Gane is very good is his distance management, and then just keeping the fight at the pace he likes to fight it at. He always does that, except Tuivasa was able to catch him with that right hand, powerful right hand that dropped him. I thought the fight was going to be over, but then Gane recovers enough to throw that lethal body kick to the gut, hurt him immediately, and it was just back and forth like that after that. And Gane was able to figure out, he's weak in the middle. And that's where I'm going to attack him. And that's where he kept attacking with his leg attacks, front kicks, roundhouse kicks to the gut every single time, and slowly but surely whittled away at his gas tank until he finally took him out in fourth.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what you have to do. I don't think Tuivasa is going to change. I don't think he's suddenly going to have abs within 6 months. I don't think that I think he likes to party and then he likes to fight, and he's knocked so many guys out in his life and his career. And so we're not going to see that. But once you saw some of those liver kicks, some of the kicks to the gut, you knew that if he could keep landing those, it was going to turn the tide, and it sure did. Now there's a lot of talk about Gane. What does he do now? So he mentioned that he would like to fight for the belt. He wants to take on Francis Ngannou. You and I have talked about Ngannou quite a bit over the past year, and not even sure if he's going to fight in the UFC again. He has a possibility of fighting, a boxing fight that will, maybe make him $100 million. So he might not. He's recovering from a knee injury still, and he doesn't even know when he's able to come back. There's talk about maybe Stipe Miocic and John Jones fighting for an interim title. And Gane was saying, I would love to fight the winner of that and go for the belt. Also, Curtis Blades called him out and said, hey, in the meantime, you and I should fight. Let's do it. Gane sloughed that off and said, no, that doesn't make sense to me. Don't know. But the UFC, wants to keep these guys active and busy, wants to keep the mix going. What do you think we're going to see in the coming months? By the end of this year, do you think there'll be a new champion? Do you think there'll be an interim title fight?
I think there'll be an interim title fight. It kind of goes with the UFC's business model of what they do, especially if they have a champion right now who is literally, we don't know which way the wind's going to blow with him. We don't know if he's going to stay with the organization or if he's going to leave, because they absolutely don't know that at this point in time. So I would imagine, yes, that they'll have an interim belt, and maybe they'll make it within like 4 guys. Maybe it could be like Gane waits for the winner of after the Jones Miocic fight, and maybe Blades gets thrown in there somehow too as well. Like maybe it's just a battle between the 4 guys as they try to figure out the Ngannou stuff and figure out his contract or no contract. So we'll see how that plays out. But if I'm Ngannou, though, I'm pretty sure I know where his head is at, which is I need to make the best of my opportunity right now, especially when he has the leverage. It's all on his side.
Yeah, there's been lots of talk that he will fight Tyson Fury, and it'll be a battle of the Titans. Who's the baddest man on the planet, regardless of fighting styles. And Tyson Fury has went back and forth between retirement and sure, I'll fight this guy or that guy, but I need to get paid. We'll see. We'll see what shakes down. But we saw Conor McGregor do it against Mayweather and made so much more money than he was ever going to make in the UFC. And now, Ngannou's kind of in that position. He had some really bad contract negotiations with the UFC, wasn't happy. And then he got this injury. And I guess if he waits a little bit longer, he has that ability to be a free agent and call his shot.
Yeah, if he waits a little bit longer, he does have that ability. And, he's looking at it like, where can I make the biggest bang for my buck right now, especially with me being like, the champion. So I get to call my shot. And if he doesn't feel like, whatever they're offering him is good enough, in looking at it as a possible contract for what he wants to do going forward with the organization, if it's not good enough, well, you know what? He's going to find something else that is good enough for him.
Yeah, it'd be tough for the UFC to lose him because he's, such an incredible fighter and has done so much for the sport. But we'll see. UFC has played hardball with lots of other fighters before him, and I don't think they're going to change too much with Dana White at the helm and the other people involved. So, okay, well, we thought that the Whittaker Vettori fight probably had fight of the night written all over it. It turned out that the Tuivasa Gane fight was given the fight of the night. They both got $50K. But the Whittaker Vettori fight was good, except Whittaker really showed his absolute dominance, being the best fighter at that weight class outside the champion. He just really showed Vettori that there's different levels. And in that second and third round, after a feeling out first round, second and third round, Absolute dominating performance. Whittaker just really blew everybody away how much better he is than everybody else except the champion.
Yeah, exactly. Like he was really good at finally getting, I thought, Marvin's timing.
Yeah.
Timing, and then also too just managing the distance a lot better than Marvin, because it felt like Vettori was never comfortable about getting into striking distance because he could never negotiate where it was, and that Whittaker could, and he did it time and time again. And so, with that being said, he was a step faster. He was a step faster than Vettori, especially in making his decisions on how to strike, when to strike, where to strike. Like that. That's where Whittaker was clearly better than Vettori. But I will give Vettori this: the man's got a granite-like head. It's amazing how much punishment he can just take and walk through. I'm always amazed by that guy's the way that he can take punishment.
Yeah, exactly. Just something just came to mind. I guess Whittaker said he broke his foot. He definitely said he broke some toes, but he feels like he broke his foot in this. But I failed to mention that Cyril Gane has broken his hand in that fight. And so it's going to take a while for him to recover. So there's a good chance that he won't be in the mix immediately until that heals.
Okay. Well, then that makes a lot of sense, and also too that just gives a lot of time for the UFC to figure out some stuff, because they're just going to have to figure out some stuff going forward, especially in the heavyweight division. And then also too, I find it interesting that we still have heard no word about Ngannou's contract, like his positioning with his contract. We've heard nothing about that. I don't know if that's a good thing either. By the way, I don't think that's a good thing at all.
No, I don't think so either. No, it's not. Okay, back to Whittaker Vettori. So Whittaker now he was the number one contender going in. He wins pretty convincingly. Do you think many people are clamoring for Adesanya Whittaker 3? Because I don't think I am. I don't know. I just don't think that anything can change. I think it's going to be the same. Adesanya winning. So we don't really enjoy matchups where we pretty much are guaranteed we know the outcome. So what does Whittaker do? What does the UFC do? Does he move up in weight?
He could possibly look at moving up in weight, but I look at him and I think to myself, I think he'd just be undersized. I think he'd be undersized at the higher weight division than where he's at right now. And also too, if you notice at the post fight, he didn't call out the champion because he realizes what it is. I lost to him twice. So yeah, I can see that the organization wouldn't really have an interest in seeing me fight him a third time, and possibly losing a third time. I say possibly because after the Edwards Usman fight, you always got a puncher's chance or a kicker's kick. You always got one of those things. So there's always a chance, but it doesn't look very good for Whittaker to pull off that, beating Adesanya, the champion.
Yeah. So yeah, can he go up to 205 and have some interesting fights? Do you see anybody that he might be able to compete against, that he might be able to utilize that speed advantage? Are there some fighters in that top 5 that he could match up well against?
You know what? I guess it's I look at him and I compare him to like a Kevin Gastelum, who seemed like he was undersized for his division, but was able to put up amazing fights, even when he couldn't make that particular weight class anymore. I believe it was 170, then he just went up to 185. So he has a chance. I just don't, like, it's just one of those things where I just don't know what that's gonna look like, because like, is he gonna come in there and kind of look like how Buckley looked like against Imavov, where it's like, oh, you just look like a little person, a little man, little boy against like a grown human being, like. So I look at that disparity. I'm not saying that he doesn't have a chance. I'm just saying that it seems like it would be quite big of a gap, like in the realms of like your the competitors are and their strength.
Yeah. Well, we saw what happened with Adesanya when he went up against Blachowicz.
Yeah.
And it was just crazy because Adesanya walked through every opponent that he's had in the UFC, and Blachowicz just took him down, held him down, and grinded out a big win. It wasn't even close. And I thought Adesanya could probably put on a lot more weight than a guy like Whittaker because he is so much lankier, so much longer. But what about going down? That 155 is vacant right now. Nobody holds that belt. Could he go down? Could he drop that 55, those 15 pounds instead of going up 20 pounds?
Well, I will say this. I don't think so, because I think Whittaker's already mentioned that it is incredibly hard for him to even make 185. So for him to even cut down even more weight, I don't think so. Like that, now you're looking at him like a Conor McGregor when he looked like Skeletor, where he went down to fight at 145. That probably wasn't the greatest thing for him to do, because that didn't look like that was healthy for anybody.
Yeah, sorry. I guess he would be going down to 170.
170.
170, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough when you've lost a couple of fights to the champ and the champ still remains there. But maybe he's going to be able to find somebody, call out somebody. He's amazing. He's a great fighter. He's just in a tough position now, losing to the champion twice, like most guys have in that division, and not sure what he's going to do going forward. He has a broken foot, he says. He will need recovery on that, and so we won't see him for a little while, but it'll be interesting to see what's next for him. They did a really good job with the matchmaking on this card. 3 middleweight fights in a row. I thought that was great, and you really started seeing some of the prospects, seeing the top guys, and seeing some of the prospects coming up. That was pretty neat. They don't do that enough, I don't think, in the UFC, and I really enjoyed seeing 3 middleweight fights in a row. You mentioned Imavov against Buckley. That was a big man against a little boy. Buckley is tough as hell. Super, super, super athletic and strong, but he was at a big disadvantage in this one.
Yeah, he was at a big disadvantage. Like, it just seemed like just how big Imavov was. Like, he literally looked like he was in a different weight division. And also too, trying to get within Imavov's reach, Buckley was having a really hard time with that. Like, he had to throw huge flurries and big movements just to try to get in and try to hit him with his shots. Where Imavov was like, he played it very cool and safe, very straight shots down the middle. And then when he had a chance to take him down, he took Buckley down. He took him down with ease. So this was a very hard fight for Buckley, like, just for him trying to get within the reach of Imavov. And he struggled with that, you could tell, the entire fight, and never really figured it out.
Yeah, in the third round, he was finally landing some shots, but he would have to throw 3, 4, 5 shots to get that one in, because he was, the distance control was great by Imavov. I was amazed at his calm demeanor and just, picking apart Buckley as Buckley was trying to come in. It was just, super impressive performance by him. And Buckley just, it wasn't a good match for him for sure, even though I love Buckley and some of the fights he's been able to give us have been incredible, but not on this night. The other middleweight fight had Roman Kripilov against Alessio De Chicaro. Wow. The Russian in this one, I still got a serious problem with Russians. Don't want to cheer for him. Do not want to see him do well. He came in and he looks so young, this guy. Doesn't look like a threat at all, but holy cow, that knockout was very impressive. And that was really, a picture perfect performance at the end for him to get the KO victory.
Yeah, it was. I love the fact that Kopylov, his patience was extreme. He really took his time, and he was very good at slipping and getting his head off the center line, and then just throwing his strikes. Like he basically, I thought he kind of whittled Jericho down, just slowly but surely broke him down. Was able to get his timing even better and better. And then at the beginning of that third, he put together that ridiculous combination as soon as he got him up against the cage and took him out. Very impressive with him.
His cornermen were imploring him to throw these body kicks, give him kicks, give him kicks. You're going to be able to break him down. And he finally listened, landed a couple of kicks that were really tough to deal with. And then the combos just, wow, super efficient, super crisp and powerful. And wow, yeah, he got the win. The referee in this fight, I haven't seen this guy before. His name is Rich Mitchell, and I just kept thinking about an encounter I had with Jimi Hendrix's drummer. I got to speak to Jimi Hendrix's drummer. His name was Mitch Mitchell, and I just kept thinking about it. Rich Mitchell was the ref on maybe 5 of the fights through the card. It was incredible. And did I ever tell you that I got a chance to talk to Jimi Hendrix's drummer before?
No. This is the first time hearing of it.
It was amazing. He was on a talk show taking calls. I thought, I'll phone up, see if I can get through. All of a sudden, they're like, Darren Campbell, you're on the line. What's your question for Mitch? And I was stunned. I was like, really? I got through. I asked him how he enjoyed Woodstock, and I asked him about his experience at Woodstock. I asked him how he met Jimmy, and he said he was in a rival band, and Jimmy approached him and said, I think you're better than the drummer I got. You want to join me? And he's like, are you kidding me? Like, of course. Yeah, the greatest guitarist I've ever seen in my life. I'll be there tomorrow. See you tomorrow. And yeah, it was neat getting a chance to talk to a guy that had touched such greatness with Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, no, that's amazing that you managed to get that opportunity. You managed to get through to talk to like a real legend like that. So basically, are you trying to tell me that Rick Mitchell is Mitch Mitchell's son? Is that what you're trying to say?
I hope so. I should do a little more research into that. I hope so. That would be even better story. Maybe I'll have even more of a story next week's podcast.
No, I think that'd be great. That's fantastic. And it's like, oh, and he likes the drums too. I'm just going to throw that in there.
Just going to toss that in there. Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, anyway, back to the action. Couple more fights on the main card. Do you want to talk about William Gomis, one of the other French guys on the card? Really good back and forth battle with Gerald Aarons, and yeah, it was a good fight. I could not believe how much the French crowd was getting into it, though. It was awesome.
No, it was awesome. It was awesome, and then also Gomis is grappling top notch. He definitely won in the strength department against Aarons, especially when he had to grapple him to try to get him down to the mat, take advantage of the top position, which he did every time he got him down to the mat. But I will say Aarons did give him a scare at the end of that fight, almost caught him in a triangle choke. Almost caught him. I will say this, Gomis, super tough, gutted it out, but that looked like it was tight. Very tight.
I guess he said something like, I was never going to tap. You needed to kill me to have me ever quit. I wasn't going to tap. I would have went out on my shield. I would have went to sleep. You could see quite early on that it wasn't quite sunk in. He just had a little bit of his head that he had a chance, but it took quite a while for him to get that head finally out of that triangle choke. It was a great try by Aarons. He almost finished the fight. That would have been a huge upset.
Yeah, would have been a massive upset. But hey, to Gomis's credit, he never gave up on himself. Luckily, he didn't have to die in there. That's always a positive. But he got himself the win. So, and he got it by gutting it out at the end there, because where Aaron's got pretty close, he got very close to probably pulling that one out of the fire.
Yeah. The fight that kicked off the main card was Charles Ayers Jourdain against Nathaniel Wood. I mentioned the French Canadians earlier. He was a guy that got a lot of cheers, ton of support. They booed Nathaniel Wood mercilessly as he walked towards the cage, as he went into the cage. Definitely the crowd was behind Jourdain, but Wood was the better fighter on this night. Really amazing performance by Wood. I wasn't actually expecting Wood to win this one, and but he did, and proved that he's a force in that division.
Yeah, I honestly picked Wood to win this fight because I was just very impressed with his last fight. I thought that the one thing about Wood is his boxing is always crisp. It's always crisp and it's always on point. And especially with those two fighting in a phone booth like they were for most of the fight, I thought that he was definitely getting off the more accurate, efficient strikes. And then also too, I thought to a certain extent he was able to guess at some of Jourdain's attacks that he likes to pull off, and then effectively counter them. And he countered them very, very well throughout the entirety of that fight. So I thought Wood he looked fantastic.
Yeah, he sure did. Yeah, he has incredibly crisp strikes, and they were fighting really close. A lot of tie clinches, a lot of really close clinching in the middle of the cage most of the time, and he was usually getting the better of Jourdain. I was fully in support of Jourdain. Love watching that guy fight, and being the Canadian, I'm always cheering for him. But he couldn't solve the crisp strikes of Wood, and unfortunately took the loss. But okay, prelims, feature fight in the prelims. I mentioned this off the top. Number one against number two German fighters in the world middleweight division. Abus Magomedov came in. This was his UFC debut against Dustin Stoltzfus, and Magomedov, he just barnstormed him, took him out. It was quick, easy. It wasn't even close. Look out. This guy is going to give people some trouble in this division. This is the fourth middleweight fight on this card, and man, I think a lot of people are going to be scared about Magomedov as time goes on.
19 seconds, fourth fastest debut in middleweight division history. And he made it look easy. It was an utter destruction. I think by the end of it, after he hit him with that front kick to the face. And then I think there was 3 or 4 more strikes that followed up, and then the fight was over. That's it. And so I was very impressed with that. That's one heck of a way to make a statement for your UFC debut. It was a beautiful thing of beauty, and we got ourselves a real player in that division.
I get shocked all the time when I see stats that come out like that. 19 seconds is the fourth fastest. Like, really? Fourth fastest in that division? Like, 19 seconds. There was 3 other guys that took guys out in their debut faster than that in the middleweight division. That's bizarre, but that was just quick. If you looked away for 20 seconds, you missed the entire fight. It was amazing, and it's incredible how often the UFC is finding these guys to come in. He's a veteran. He's been fighting all around the world, but comes in on his debut and dispatches a very tough guy in Stoltzfus in 19 seconds. But yeah, I hope they run him out very soon. Obviously didn't take any damage. He should be able to fight in the next month or 2.
Yeah, hopefully he does want that, because when you get on a roll like that, you might as well just keep the ball rolling, because that's what you want to see. You want to start your UFC career obviously on the highest of high notes, and that's as high as it gets.
Okay, we had another Canadian on the card, John the Bull McDessie. Been in the UFC for 12 years. 12 years. Big time veteran. Has been in a ton of wars and had a lot of great success. Fighting another German guy, Nasrat Hakparas. And Hakparas ended up winning the decision on this one. Unfortunately, the Canadians went 0 for 2. But as I said, McDessie's been around for 12 years. The veteran came in, takes on all comers, and put up a good fight. But Hakparas got the nod.
Yeah, Hakparas got the nod, and for good reason. I thought, throughout the course of the fight, he just happened to be the busier, more efficient fighter throughout this course of this fight, and McDessie just seemed a little bit more hesitant, too cautious. Both men obviously had respect for one another as they've trained together against one another. They know what each man can do. But I thought that McDessie seemed a little bit more hesitant than Hakparas. Even though Hakparas we've seen his hands go a little bit more in other fights than it ever has in this one. But I thought that Hakparas definitely won on volume for sure.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, turning to the lightweight fight between Fares Zayam, the Smile Killer, against Michal Figlak. The Smile Killer, man, he made the UFC debut of Figlak a little tough. Got the takedowns that he was looking for. Was able to grind out a really good victory. I like this guy. I like Siam, and I can't wait for to see some more action from him.
Yeah, I like Siam too. I thought his striking was fantastic. He was able to just slide out of the way of Figlak's counters that he was doing, but more importantly, that he out grappled Figlak. I did not expect that. He dominated the grappling too as well. Didn't really give Figlak many opportunities of where he could win this fight, since he was better in the standing game and better in the grappling, which I thought Figlak would have possibly had an advantage in, but he did not.
Yeah, Zayam, his father was a pro boxer. He definitely grew up, striking being his number one. I thought Figlak was going to dominate if it went to the ground, and no, not the case. Zayam, every time there was scrambles and reversals, he was getting the better of him, and it was an incredible, solid performance. I think he surprised most people that thought if this fight went to the ground, Figlak was taking it, and not the case at all.
No, not the case at all. No, Zayam was definitely had the advantage in the grappling exchanges, and it wasn't really that close. I was impressed with the strides that Zayam's made in his grappling, and it showed in this fight.
Okay, another French fighter, Benoit Saint-Denis, got the big knockout victory, second round over Gabriel Miranda. Great action early. He kept doing these spinning back fists that were just brutal. Saint-Denis put on a crazy pace and was able to get the win. He just dropped Miranda early with that back fist, and then he was able to get the victory. 100% finish rate so far in his career, and on quite the rise. I'm impressed by this guy.
No, I'm impressed by the ex-Special Forces Saint-Denis, and he looked fantastic in this fight, especially at the end of the first round, where he was able to get some ground and pound. Miranda was super hurt, almost had him out of there in the first. So I wasn't surprised by the stoppage that he got early in the second. Once it started, he just jumped all over him, knowing that he was already hurt. He took him out.
That was a debut for Miranda, and he was definitely the villain. Massive boos as he was coming towards the cage because they were supporting their French fighter, and that Special Forces. I'm glad you mentioned that. I love his nickname, God of War. This is a guy who has been through the real, actual wars, and now he's walking into the cage it must feel like, well, this is a holiday compared to what I've been through in my life. I can handle this no problem. And he's definitely showing that he is the God of War. It was it was a lethal assault on Miranda, and I love this guy. I can't wait for more action from him for sure.
Yeah, it's funny. You have fighters like we just heard was like, well, you'd have to kill me to get me out of there, or so I'm ready to die. How about this? That guy actually has done that. Those are not just words he says idly. No, I've actually really been in those situations, and for my country, he's probably had to actually literally kill people in real life, not just saying words. He's really done that. So anything which is now comes in the realm of competition, this is super easy for him. This is like, oh, it's just competition. This is easy. It's not like life or death, which I actually know about.
I know what you mean. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. He called out Christos Giagos, who he was supposed to fight and had to drop out. He said it was a little bit tough because he only had 3 weeks to prepare for a completely different fighter and a guy that was stylistically not the same in any facet, and wasn't able to see a ton of Miranda's stuff because he wasn't in the UFC before. But he got $50K for the victory. And I like another one of his nicknames, BSD. BSD. I kept hearing that chant happening throughout. And I think the UFC's got to go back to France soon, within the next couple months. I think he should be higher on the card. I think this is a guy that really deserves a lot of respect. And we should see him against some really tough competition.
Yeah, I think this is definitely a guy that they can push for sure, and he clearly comes in there to fight and to put on a show for the crowd. So this is somebody I think that the UFC can definitely get behind.
Okay, we had Christian Quinones against Khalid Taha. Do you want to make any mention of this one?
Yes, I like Quinones. I thought his footwork was fantastic in this. And then just the way that he was able to take out Taha with the striking with the right hand right there that got to him. I was impressed. I was impressed with Quinones, and I was impressed with his. I think that was his UFC debut, and what a successful one that was. Round 1 TKO.
Yeah, his brother has fought in the UFC before as well. I love his nickname, Problema. He's a teammate of Brandon Moreno, who's a champion in the UFC. So another great fighter coming out of Tijuana, and I can't wait to see Quinones again very soon. Okay, do you want to mention anything with the fight that kicked off the card? Stephanie Egger getting a submission victory over Alex Perez.
No, just that Stephanie Egger, when she set up that submission, she set it up well, and she managed to get the win over Perez, who actually, if I remember correctly, had a very interesting as they were doing their weigh-ins at the scale, she had a very interesting like dance. I think after she was done, it was interesting, and that's all I'm going to say about that.
Okay. The only thing I want to mention is Stephanie Egger will go down with a trivia question and answer. She is the very first fighter in the history of the UFC to get her hand raised in the cage. So if that question never comes up for you, Jason, in the future, remember Stephanie Egger, the first to ever win on French soil in the UFC. So kind of a cool distinction for her.
Yeah, no, that's very cool. Very cool. That's a good one, actually. I'll remember that.
Nice. Okay, great card. Loved it. Couldn't believe how great it was. Nice to be able to watch it in the morning too, get it over with, and boom, move on with the weekend. This coming weekend, we got UFC 279. It's going to be at the normal time, 7 p.m. 7 p.m. Pacific time start. Khamzat Chimaev against Nate Diaz. I've talked about this and previewed it a little bit. I just, yeah, I see Diaz having a shot, but I think Khamzat gets his hand raised and will probably be fighting for a belt very, very soon. This might be the last time we see Nate Diaz ever in the UFC. It sounds like they're parting ways. Does he have a real legitimate shot to go with his hand raised?
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know what the over under is going to be for this particular fight, but I'm sure it's going to be heavily skewed towards Chimaev's end. I'm going to be honest. I don't really see too many paths of victory for Nate Diaz. He's going to have to come up with like a lucky punch or something like that, because I think Chimaev is just going to do what he does best, which is grapple you to the ground and not take any risks. I think he took a lot of risks with Gilbert Burns that he didn't have to, and I think he learned from that. And I think he's just going to be like, I'm just going to do what I do best. I'm just going to get you to the ground, beat you up, and then probably be a quick night. So I think it's unfortunate that the main event could be actually pretty quick.
Yeah, it might. Yeah. Lots of talk about Chimaev being in line for the title fight, but when Edwards beat Usman, that sort of immediately put together a trilogy matchup. So now Chimaev says once he gets rid of Diaz, he wants to go and have a crack at Adesanya, the winner of Adesanya Pereira. That's what he says he wants to do. Why not? Why not make that happen?
Yeah, I do love how he's just like, I just want a shot at somebody that has a belt. It doesn't matter what division it is for this guy, which I find is kind of funny. But it sounds like to me that Chimaev is definitely gonna have to wait a little bit. He's gonna have to wait his turn, because Edwards and Usman are definitely having a rematch. That's happening. Nobody's jumping in front of Usman for that. And then after that, it will be very interesting to see if Edwards can keep his belt or if Usman takes it back. And then we'll see what happens after that. So
yeah, can't wait to see what shakes out there. Chimaev was able to just beat up Jiang Liang really badly. It wasn't even close. He's in the co-main against Tony Ferguson, who needs a win really badly. He's on a 4-fight losing streak. Can Li Jiang give Tony Ferguson a run for his money, or is Tony going to get back into the win column with a big victory?
I think this is going to be a very tough fight for both fighters. This is not necessarily a win for Tony Ferguson, since he has been spiraling, losing his last 4, and loses any more, he might be looking at being out of the UFC completely. So Tony Ferguson's probably looking at this fight as a must win, as he should. And the Leech is a dangerous fighter. I think this is going to be a very interesting fight. But I think it's a fight that goes to decision. I don't know who would be the winner of this. I think it's going to be pretty close.
I think the fight of the night is the fight that precedes that. Kevin Holland against Daniel Rodriguez, D-Rod, in a catch weight. I'm not sure why they're giving it a catch weight, but both these guys are super entertaining. I think this fight will be fight of the night. And I'm most excited, I think, for this matchup.
Yeah, styles make fights, and then their styles are pretty different. But the one thing that is consistent is that they bring a fight. And Daniel Rodriguez is very good with his boxing, and Kevin Holland can be a little bit unorthodox with his striking. I think this is going to be a very good fight, like you just said.
We've got Johnny Walker against the Hulk to kick off the main card. Should be fun. We got a Canadian, Hakeem Dawodu, feature fight on the prelims against Julian Erosa. Love Dawodu and love what he brings. Should be a heck of a fight there.
Yeah, very technically proficient with his striking, Dawodu is. And I look to see more of that, especially with the way that he's going to take apart Erosa piece by piece. He's going to do it in a very technically sound and very logical way of how he wants to take away certain things from Erosa in that fight.
Couple more heavyweight fights on the card there. Jake Collier, Chris Barnett should be a real banger. Both guys will be throwing big haymakers to try to take each other out. And yeah, lots of fights on the card. Early prelims, and main card. We haven't had early prelims for a little while, but yeah, it's great. I'm excited. UFC 279. I think we'll have a lot to break down, and it'll be fun to discuss it next Monday.
Oh yeah, no, it's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. I just hope that the main card would be better if it was somewhat competitive, but we'll see.
Okay, why don't we break down the NFL a little bit? We've got finally some regular season games. I said a week or two ago, man, I hate the preseason. It really sucks. I just cannot get into the games at all. They bring a quarterback out there, he plays a couple series or even one, and he's done. And then you just see a bunch of guys that aren't going to be playing in the NFL this year, and practice squad guys, and it's just pathetic. But man, am I excited about Thursday night's kickoff game between the Rams and the Bills. The Rams are favored by 2.5, I believe it is. And yeah, the defending Super Bowl champions. Bills are expected to go really, really far, getting ousted last year in the playoffs by the Chiefs in overtime. But yeah, I think this was a great matchup for the NFL to start with this season.
Oh, it's a beautiful way to start off the NFL season with the former Super Bowl champs and the Buffalo Bills, which were literally right there. They were right on the doorstep as well, like to get further into the playoffs. And the Bills got a great team. They both got great teams, man. They both got great teams. Bills have added Von Miller to their vaunted defense. And I love this game in the respect that this is the NFL showing two of their Cadillac teams, two of their best teams that they have in the in the league, and they're going after each other. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see it. See how Matt Stafford's arm is, because I know he's been having some elbow issues so far. So is that going to be a lingering thing throughout the course of the season as he deals with his elbow? And then also too, just to see just how well the Bills are, how well they're built, because this is going to be a great test for them to show exactly where exactly they are in the upper echelon of the league.
Oh no, it should be amazing. It should be great. Actually, I misspoke. The Bills are 2.5-point favorites for this one. Being in LA, it makes it a little close. I think a lot of people are giving the Bills a lot of credit and thinking that they definitely could be the Super Bowl champions at the end of the year. I like that Matthew Stafford has a second year coming in now, had all that success last year and was able to go far. Aaron Donald talked about retirement, came close to hanging it up, but was able to sign a huge contract, and he's back. The best player on defense in the league. They got Cooper Kupp, who definitely was the best wide receiver in the game last year. Don't think he's going to have as great of a season this year. It'd be hard to match the kind of numbers that he put up last year, but to me, he's the best possession receiver. Just finds those holes and is able to get 10 to 12 catches a game consistently. That tandem was just phenomenal last year, and it can only get better with all this off season to prepare for this coming year.
Yeah, and with the fact that all the receivers are back healthy this time around, because they were pretty banged up near the end there for their Super Bowl run. So it's going to be great for Stafford to have all his weapons available, and then also too to have Cooper Kupp, who is that's somebody that's his receiver he can always rely on. Always rely on. He's always going to be there, and he's always just going to be as good as Cooper Kupp has always been, which is one of the top receivers in the league.
both teams have good defense, but most people I've seen have predicted this will be the top scoring game of the weekend. So we love that if you love offense. Josh Allen just really on a meteoric rise and looking like one of the top quarterbacks in the league year after year. Stephon Diggs, another year trying to get into that offense and being one of the top receivers. Devin Singletary, amazing running back, and I just think, if Matthew Stafford's elbow is okay and has recovered fully, we're going to see a hell of a shootout and a great way to kick off the season. I love offensive football, always have. Prefer it over really defensive battles, and I think this will be the game of the weekend. Very smart of the NFL to kick off these two teams right away.
Oh yeah, that it's incredibly smart. Like I said, these are flagship teams that are part of the NFL league, and they're two of the best teams, literally, in the NFL. So this is a great way to start it off, and I couldn't be more excited to see.
There's a lot of great matchups that I'm looking forward to this weekend, but I think the one that I'm most looking forward to after Thursday night is the big Monday night battle between the Seahawks and the Broncos, and Russell Wilson's revenge game, getting to come back to Seattle and putting a whooping on the Seahawks, and just showing that he's still got it. They messed up, let him go, and traded him off to Denver, and I think Denver's going to come in and stomp them. There'll be a lot of people cheering Russ. I don't think there'll be boos, but maybe they'll do a really nice tribute, show that Super Bowl victory and a lot of the success Russell has. But it'll be big here, especially being in the Pacific Northwest.
Well, actually, you could probably argue there should have been 2 Super Bowl victories, too. But I digress. We won't go there. But yeah, like Russell has gone into a certain situation in Denver. It kind of reminds me of how Brady went to Tampa Bay, because it seemed like the team is only missing that one ideal piece, and Denver seems to be missing the quarterback. Almost kind of like where Peyton Manning went from the Colts to Denver too. Kind of like the same situation as well. So the question is that now that Russ is in this position, what's he going to be able to do with it? Like, what was he just lacking the materials for the team because, he's still Russ? Because we haven't seen him play at a very high level for maybe a season. So I'm curious to see exactly where he's at. I'm just going to say this: Seattle's not going to be the proper test for me to really negotiate like where Russ is with this team and stuff, because Seattle's is not very good. And yes, I think it's going to be a massacre. It's like Denver is just that much better than Seattle everywhere.
Yeah. Well, I looked at the wide receivers that Seattle has compared to the wide receivers that Denver has, and I think Seattle's wide receivers are better. I think DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett are 2 of the best receivers in the game. He goes there and he's got Cortland Sutton, he's got Judy, he's got a few guys, but Seattle has decided to do a rebuild. That whole entire Legion of Boom is gone. Lots of their offense have gone. Chris Carson retiring really hurts Seattle. Geno Smith has been named the starter. We saw him a bit last year when Russ was out, but he's not an elite quarterback. Denver needs to figure out how to get Russ out of the pocket, finding some targets that he can hit on the run. We'll see how it's put together, but you're right. It's probably not going to be a big test for Denver. I think Denver's going to win, but it's nice to see him return right away, get it out of the way. Be lots and lots and lots of talk coming up to that Monday nighter, and I think it'll be the most widely watched football game here locally around here in years.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely will. Because Russ is coming back to Seattle and all that sort of stuff, all those storylines. But at the end of the day, Denver's a better team. Yeah, Seattle, I will give you that. They got some receivers on their side, but here's what I won't give you. It's the quarterback that's passing them the ball. Yeah, that's going to be hard for them to get the ball with that kind of guy in the backfield throwing the ball to you. So that's why I'm like, sorry about that. I'm always going to be leaning towards Denver in this matchup.
There's another game on the slate that is a revenge game for a quarterback. We're getting Baker Mayfield getting to immediately play the Cleveland Browns as the Panthers are hosting the Browns. Baker came in with all the hype and circumstance, was able to be the number one pick with the Browns. Gave them some relative success in the early stages, but didn't take them any farther. They decided to move in a different direction, and he went to Carolina, has become the number one guy there. Threw a lot of daggers at the Cleveland organization. A lot of guys are going to be mad at him. A lot of those defensive guys have faced him for his entire career. I think they're going to have a bit of an advantage, knowing what tendencies he has and how to shut him down. Myles Garrett, he's had the second most sacks in the NFL over the past couple seasons. And I don't know if the Panthers are going to be able to beat the Browns, but Baker's sure going to try to get his revenge on this one.
Yeah, he's definitely going to do everything in his power to win this game. And so it's going to be a very interesting game. I don't know if he's going to be successful in his endeavor to beat this team, but he's going to try his best. And it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how he performs and then how the defense schemes against him to try to probably pronounce those things he's not very good at, bring out his weaknesses in this game.
The Panthers are favored by 2.5 in this one. I don't love his passing attack. He's got DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, but Christian McCaffrey is a huge weapon. If he can stay healthy, he can give him the ball a lot, get him the ball, running, receiving. They'll be really good this year, on offense. If he can, definitely stay healthy. That's one of the problems for McCaffrey the last couple seasons. But it'll be nice to see 2 revenge games first week.
Yes, it will be very nice to see 2 revenge games right off the bat. And as you said, as long as Christian McCaffrey can stay somewhat healthy or can just stay healthy throughout the course of this season, then Carolina Panthers offense is going to be, at least they're going to have one stud that they can always rely on week in, week out, if he can stay on the field.
Okay, let's just blast through a lot of the other matchups. I'm looking at the schedule here. Sunday morning, early games. Eagles, Lions. Eagles favored by 4 points. They were 9-8 last year. Lions 3-13-1. The thing about the Eagles is Jalen Hurts, I think, is going to have a breakout year. Getting AJ Brown was massive. I think that he's one of the best receivers in the game, along with Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert. I think, that Eagles offense should just beat up heavily on Detroit's defense, and I think this will be a bit of a mismatch game. I think Eagles will come out with a huge victory. They beat them 44-6 last year, and it could be a similar score this year.
Could be similar score. I'm just going to say this. I'm going to play a little devil's advocate with the Detroit Lions. I want to say I think the morale is better than what it was last year. So I'm hoping that they can win a couple more games just for the fan base's sake, because they've just been so god-awful, especially last year. And so with that being said, I think from what I've seen from their preseason, and I can't remember the name of that NFL show that they show, that the Detroit Lions are now a part of, when they show the behind the scenes and stuff like that.
Hard Knocks.
Thank you. Hard Knocks. From what I've seen from the Hard Knocks, it seems that their morale is better. It seems like they're really going into it with a better spirit than they did last year. But with that being said, I don't think spirit is enough to beat the Eagles for Sunday.
Jared Goff, we'll see. With a second year there, we'll see how he does. I think DJ Chark going there was good. Josh Reynolds, another pickup. DeAndre Swift, I like him on running back, but I think the Eagles are going to dominate and win this one fairly easy. Okay, the 49ers Bears. 49ers are favored by 7 points. 49ers had a pretty good year last year, 10-7. Bears were 6-11. There was so much going back and forth with Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo this offseason. It sure seemed like Jimmy wasn't going to go back, and then finally they signed him as the backup. Trey Lance so far has handled it okay, but I don't think he was thrilled that they decided to keep him, and him still sort of looming in the background like he always has been. Deebo Samuel wanted out, and then a huge bag just showed up on his front door, and he said, okay, I guess I'll stick around. And having him with the Niners, massive. I think this shouldn't be a very close game. Justin Fields is still not great in my opinion. And I think Trey Lance, we'll see how Trey Lance can put this together, but I think the Niners are a much better team.
Yeah, I think the Niners are a better team. Trey Lance has a better team around him, and Trey Lance will be able to actually run the ball more effectively than Justin Fields and the Bears will be able to on their side of the ball. So I think just with that being said right there, that's why the 49ers will take this game, because when it comes to possession of attack for the 49ers, they'll have the ball in their hands more so than the Bears will for every offensive possession.
That's right. Yep, you're right. Okay, the other game I want to talk about is the Bengals game. The Bengals will be hosting the Steelers. AFC champs, the Bengals. 10-7, sort of an okay year, and then they went on just an incredible playoff run. And I think the Steelers are in a bit of a rebuilding mode. Mitch Trubisky is the quarterback there, but Kenny Pickett nipping at his heels. But Bengals are favored by 6.5 and should be able to take this one. AFC North battle. But I think, the Bengals are starting to become the class of that division.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you on that. And then also, too, just from their success that they had in the playoff run and making it to the Super Bowl and stuff, I see big things for the Bengals. I know a lot of people are not talking about them, but they still literally got the same team. They're bringing it all back. And if anything, I think their offensive line is a little bit better, the Bengals, this year than it was last year. So, and then going against the Steelers, who are still like, we're not really sure about our quarterback situation, because it could be Kenny Pickett for one day, and then it could be the other guy the next. It's just, you don't know exactly where they don't have that solidifying factor as a quarterback in the back there. So I'm giving that to the Bengals. I think they're the better team, and they most certainly have the better quarterback. Yeah, by a long shot.
Okay, there's an AFC East battle to happen. The Dolphins will be hosting the Patriots. Mac Jones' birthday today. Happy birthday, Mac. He had a great year last year. I was really quite surprised that they were able to get so much out of him. But I think the better quarterback in this one could be Tua, especially that he's throwing to the cheetah and has a much better stable of guys to get the ball to. Let's see. I think it's the Dolphins are favored by 3 in this game.
Well, and as they should be. And I think this is going to be Tua's coming out party for this year. You have all the weapons that you could ever want. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. You got these guys on offense that are there to be thrown to, and they're going to be open, especially with Tyreek Hill being the speed demon he is. He'll bring a lot of double coverage, and so other guys are going to be open. So this is Tua's chance to really show this is what I can do. This is how I can lead a team, since they've invested so much into it. So, yeah, I favor Miami in this, and I'm super interested just to see how Miami fares for this season with all the new pieces that they brought in.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, I can't wait to see them as well. It's gonna be great. Okay, the Colts Texans should be a bit of a blowout for the Colts. They're favored by 8. Matty Ice finally changing teams for the first time in his career. He's got an amazing running back to hand the ball to, and Jonathan Taylor. Michael Pittman had a phenomenal year last year, over 1,000 yards on 88 catches. That Colts offense is great, and if Matt has anything left, I think the Colts could go far this year.
Yeah, they could go far, and also too, he's going to take better. He's going to take better care of the football than Carson Wentz did last year. That's for sure. He's going to be less apt to throw up those picks that don't need to be picks whatsoever. So, with that being said, I think the Colts are going to be they should be the favorite team to win that game, and especially with like the running game that they have. Yeah, they have a chance to be like a dark horse.
Houston's a dumpster fire.
Yes.
They're a team that's not going to be taken seriously for a few years. They got to clean house there completely and rebuild and get some better people in there. Okay, I mentioned Matt Ryan is gone out of Atlanta. Marcus Marietta is taken over for the Falcons. Should be interesting for Atlanta. See, he looked good in the preseason. Yeah, he was a former number 2 overall draft pick, and yeah, he could be pretty good. On the other side, Jameis Winston, great quarterback, coming off a season-ending injury last year. Alvin Kamara had some injury woes last year. If the Saints can keep those guys healthy, I think they should be the better team out of this matchup, and they are favored by 5.5 going into this one.
Yeah, Atlanta is still in a rebuilding phase, and they're going to be in a rebuilding phase for the next couple of years for sure. And I find it quite painful. I am a Falcons fan. Yeah, they're not going to be very good for a while. And yeah, that's why I'm definitely giving the edge to the Saints. They're a better team. Yeah, they're just a better team at this point in time.
Okay, Baltimore is going into New York to play the Jets. They are favored by 7. I was amazed to hear who is probably going to start for the Jets. Joe Flacco will be coming in to be their quarterback. They said they're going to announce it on Wednesday. Zach Wilson has a shot possibly to start, but he's been pretty banged up with the knee injury. And it probably makes sense to give him another week to come in fully healthy. But Jets defense has improved. They've made a lot of good acquisitions, but 4-13 last year, a pretty sad team. I think Baltimore is going to be able to dominate and pull out an easy victory in this one, I think.
Yeah, of course, and also too, like Baltimore definitely has the better quarterback, and I expect him to be doing his best imitation of being a video game and running all over the field, and then the Jets not being able to catch him whatsoever. So yeah, that's gonna probably happen, and I want to say that the Jets quarterback position is a cautionary tale of why your starting quarterback shouldn't start in preseason games. They could get hurt, and then they're not available. So yeah, there you go.
Good, yeah. You mentioned Carson Wentz earlier. He's taking over his 3rd team in the last 3 seasons. He has been super frustrating. Does not know how to keep control of the ball. Quite a bit of a disaster, really. $28 million trying to go into his 3rd franchise, and had so much promise early, has really had some tough luck in the last few seasons. Even though the Washington is favored in this matchup against the Jags, I mentioned dumpster fire with the Jets. Oh man, Jags last year. Urban Meyer, that absolute ridiculous joke. Trying to bring him in, and he couldn't have been worse. It was tough on Trevor Lawrence going through that. The young guy had to step up and be the leader there, but only 12 touchdowns, 17 picks, and 5 fumbles for his rookie season. Not good. Doug Peterson should be able to come in there and do a much better job, but it looks like Washington will probably be able to beat the Jags in this one.
Probably, but I you know what? I'd give the Jags a chance to win this game. I honestly would, because it's not like the Washington is that much better than them. They are not. And also too, I want to believe that Trevor Lawrence could take a step, because the one thing that he didn't actually have last year that he does have, I believe, this year, he didn't really have that much coaching stability, since Urban Meyer's like a wild card, I guess. Dude, it was literally a wild card. You should not actually have stories about your coach going into week to week. That actually shouldn't be a thing. You shouldn't actually have these things about your head coach. You're just like, it's not even about us. We're the players, and we're not messing up. It's the head coach. You kidding me? Yeah, man. So I think just because of that, just because their culture is going to be better, I think the Jaguars are going to be better. They're going to show something better. And I think Trevor Lawrence, because of that stability he'll now have in the locker room, he should be better off as well.
I heard that Carson Wentz is unvaccinated, and they're worried about him contracting COVID and having to miss some games. We'll see how that shakes out, because COVID still is a thing. Some people don't believe it, but it is still a thing. And Kirk Cousins is just recovering from COVID. He contracted it. He is unvaccinated as well. I heard it hit him pretty heavily and hard. So I'm not sure how the Vikings are going to come out in the early stages of this season. They're playing Green Bay, an NFC North matchup. Green Bay's favored by 6.5. Obviously, Devontae Adams was a huge loss for Green Bay, and Aaron Rodgers, keeps losing weapons all the time, but losing a weapon like Devontae Adams has to make an impact. I think they win this game, but I don't think they'll be as dominant as they were last year.
No, because they just don't have that number one threat in the receiving department for that team. But at least the one good thing is, Aaron Rodgers is happy because he got paid. All right. So, and he can be a little bit temperamental with how he comes across. Right. So if he's happy this year because of all that money that he's getting paid, then that should go a long ways to alleviating a lot of issues within that locker room or with that team, because he's just happy. And I think that can be a hard thing for him to get to that place, get to his happy place.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, we'll see how everything shakes out for them. Next game I want to talk about is the Titans Giants. Titans, you got to talk about Derrick Henry. Such a massive force. He missed the final 9 games of last season before returning for that playoff game. He wasn't himself in that playoff game, and they were ousted. It'll be great if he can stay healthy this year. They do have that massive loss of A.J. Brown, though, and a big weapon for Tannehill there. I think this is going to be a hell of a matchup between Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry. Saquon is so instrumental for the Giants. They are actually 2-20 when he rushes for less than 100 yards. So he's so key for them to get a victory. I think we're going to see both big, massive running display by both guys. And I'd lean towards Henry, but we'll see if he can stay healthy.
Yeah, we can see if he can stay healthy. And also, too, I think Saquon might possibly have a resurgence this upcoming NFL season, because I think he wants people to remember the name Saquon Barkley and just how good he actually is. So I think this could be a stellar year for Saquon going forward.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's shaping up to be a phenomenal one for him, and yeah, I could see him being one of the top running backs in the NFL. Massive AFC matchup between the Raiders and the Chargers. One of the later afternoon games on Sunday. Both teams really did a lot in the offseason to pick up some great people. The Raiders were able to get Devontae Adams, Chandler Jones, Bilal Nichols, and Rocky Singh. And the additions for the Chargers were Khalil Mack, J.C. Jackson, Sebastian Joseph Day, and Gerald Everett. And yeah, this is a titanic battle. I'm really looking forward to this division this year. I think all four teams are going to be phenomenal. I just can't wait. I think the Chargers are the class of the division, and I think the Chargers have a chance to actually be Super Bowl bound, maybe. And yeah, but this will be fun. I can't wait for this game.
Yeah, it's going to be. I think it has the potential just to be a shootout, and then also too just to see all the storylines play out. You know, David Carr now finally reunited with Devontae Adams, and just to see how they click going forward, and Justin Herbert with his team. Like it's going to be a fantastic game. It's going to be a fantastic game. It's going to be super close. I can't call that. I don't know. But I can say this for sure, that their division is the best division in football.
Yeah.
By far and away. Like, it's not even close. Their division is definitely the best division in football. And it's going to be a dogfight to see who comes out on top.
Yeah, just listen to the guys on both sides of the offense. Derek Carr can throw to Devontae Adams, Darren Waller. He's got Hunter Renfrow and Josh Jacobs in the backfield. And then for Herbert, he's got Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Josh Palmer, and Gerald Everett with Austin Eckler in the backfield. Like, this shapes up to be a offensive explosion and very crucial for both teams to get off with a winning, start. Because this, all four teams are going to be, I think, they're going to have double-digit win victories probably this year. They'll be, it's going to be a dogfight and probably the most fun division to watch all season long.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be the best division to watch all season long. I'll be paying very close attention to it because a lot of people have said this team's the best. No, this team's the best. I'm going to be curious to see just who comes out as the best once it's all said and done.
The team that has been the best for the last about 5 years have been the Chiefs, and they face the Cardinals. Excited to see these two guys face off against each other. Cardinals had such a really incredible start to last season, winning the first, I think, 10 or 11 games, and then sort of falling back to earth. Chiefs are favored in this one, but they've lost some of their weapons for sure. And it seems like that huge contract that their QB signed has started to erode some of the talent and some of the top end guys that he's had. He still gets Kelsey. He still has some weapons there, but he's lost some of the top guys that he had. Tyreek Hill and Sammy Watkins are both gone.
Yeah. But you know what? You can say the same thing for the Cardinals after they've lost off defense, Chandler Jones, offense, Christian Kirk, AJ Green, Chase Edmonds. So and their quarterback got paid too. So you can see a little erosion from their side as well. But if I'm going to talk about who's lost more, it probably would be the Chiefs, actually, especially with Tyreek Hill being gone. But I would still argue that the Chiefs are still the better team, and I expect them to win because it's kind of hard to go against Patrick Mahomes. Kind of hard to gamble against that guy. Probably not a great idea.
I think big pickup getting Hollywood Brown with the trade with the Ravens. That was good for the Cardinals. I think he'll be a big addition. DeAndre Hopkins missing those first 6 games is huge. He is such a massive weapon, and pretty much Kyler Murray can just toss it up, and DeAndre is going to come down with the ball. He is appealing his 6-game suspension for PED use. I thought we would have heard already if he was going to get it reduced or not, but hopefully we do hear this week, and we'll know for sure how many games he's going to be out.
Yeah. Hopefully we get some resolution on that, and then we know exactly what's going on, because obviously the Cardinals need to know, and because it's going to affect them. It's going to affect their offense, because that's one of the best receivers in the game. Won't be available.
It'll be interesting to see how Juju Smith-Schuster does there. Also, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, Scantling from Green Bay, Schuster from Pittsburgh. Try to get some cast-offs to try to replace some of those guys. Kelsey's great. Hardman's been there, and he will continue to be there. And I like Edwards-Helaire in the backfield. I think he's a weapon, and should still have a great performance. Last game to talk about, Sunday nighter, Cowboys hosting Tampa Bay. Bucks predicted to win. 1.5 is the spread. We'll see. I think this is going to be another one of those great shootout games. Both teams have incredible amount of weapons. Had a great year. Both had great years last year. Cowboys phased out really early in the playoffs, but this is another one of those really titanic battles in week 1.
Yeah, and like you said, it's going to be close. Hopefully, Brady is going to be clear-headed. We know there's been troubles at home, so to speak. So hopefully he can get past that. But I'm pretty sure that that shouldn't be a problem for our future no-nonsense Hall of Famer, which is Tom Brady. Shouldn't be a problem for him going forward. And with all the weapons that he's going to have at his disposal, I think the Bucs win this game. And as for Dak, hopefully he actually has like a good performance, but I don't think it's just going to be as strong as Brady's performance will be.
I think accurate on that. I've made some predictions. I can put them on the website, but I'll blast through them. You can tell me how you think, and you can give me some feedback if you want to switch some of these around. But I'm just going to go AFC East. I think it's going to be Bills, Dolphins, Patriots, Jets. I think Bills are the cream of the crop. I think Tua's got something going, and I think Miami's going to finish second, Patriots third, Jets last, of course. How's that sound? East?
That sounds actually pretty good to me. I agree with that.
West, I think it's Chargers, Chiefs, Raiders, Broncos.
Ooh, Chargers, Chiefs, Raiders. Okay. Oh man. Okay. You know what? I'm going to go Chiefs, Raiders, Chargers, Broncos.
Wow. Okay. North, I've got Bengals, Ravens, Browns, and Steelers.
Bengals, Ravens, Browns, Steelers. Yeah, I agree with that. I see that.
Okay. AFC South, I've got the Titans, Colts, Jags, and Texans.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Let's turn to the NFC. NFC East, Cowboys, Eagles, Commanders, and Giants.
I would go actually Eagles above the Cowboys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. West, I've got Rams, Niners, Cards, Seahawks.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. In the NFC North, I've got Packers, Vikings, Bears, and Lions.
Yes, I agree.
And we've got, lastly, NFC South, we've got the Bucks, Saints, Falcons, Panthers.
Yes, you know what? I'd switch the Panthers above the Falcons, because that's how much I feel for my team. They're not good enough.
Okay, bottom. Hopefully
Bottom.
they get a good draft pick then.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm going for. Yes, thank you.
All right. Well, we're pretty close to the same page. We'll have to check it as the year progresses and see how accurate we were. It wasn't as difficult as I thought it would be to try to predict those divisions, but you never know. Injuries, somebody comes out rookie class and blows the doors off the NFL here. We'll see, but yeah, can't wait, man. Fuck, we're only like 3 days away from NFL season kicking off, and that first game, man, what a way to start it.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, it's the best way to start this off. It's gonna be fantastic because what happened last year, especially with the playoffs of the NFL, it doesn't get any better than that. It doesn't. So let's see what the encore is for this season, because it just didn't get any better than that. I've never seen playoffs like that, and so that's why I'm super excited. Let's get back to that NFL. Let's see some more games. I'm in. I'm ready.
That was the best playoffs ever in the history of the league, and it couldn't have been more entertaining. And I can't see it being. I can just see it continuing to be like that year after year. So bring it on. It's a few days away. Let's just finish with a couple of NBA notes. We talked about LeBron James last week being here in our city, and speculation on why he was here. When he returned home to LA, he received a knock on his door, and he opened it, and he was handed a lawsuit. He was handed papers that said a lawsuit was being filed against him for $10 million. Him and some of his partners have made a documentary movie. It's called Black Ice. It's about the Colored Hockey League, which ran from 1895 to the 1930s in the Maritimes. And him and Drake and the rapper Future and Maverick Carter put this movie together. But they are being sued by Billy Hunter, the executive director of the NBA Players Association, who says he has exclusive intellectual rights to produce a film on this subject. And he has put together a $10 million lawsuit. And we'll see what shakes out. Can't wait for the documentary. It sounds like it's going to be incredible. I haven't heard too much about this Black Ice League or this Colored Hockey League, and the documentary is called Black Ice. But it's 10 million is not that much, when these guys got this kind of money. But interesting that the Players Association rep is suing LeBron James, one of the best players in the league, and this is kind of a crazy battle going on.
Kind of would make it weird for their working relationship, since they gotta still work together, right? And then also too, are you trying to tell me that these talks didn't even happen before, as he was doing this, that he didn't know? So for me, I'm looking at it. LeBron's not a dumb guy, so maybe he's just like, maybe this is just the cost of doing business going forward with the project anyways, and knowing that he would probably have to settle out of court with him anyways. Maybe that was his play. I'm not sure, but like you just said, $10 million, a lot of money for us. Maybe not so much for him. So
yeah, I was interested to see that Drake and Future were involved as well, and but this kind of shocked quite a few people that didn't know that this was transpiring, and we'll see how it shakes out. Tough though that the player executive director, the NBA, is suing one of his constituents. I hope one of our union reps doesn't knock on my door and give me a lawsuit over something that I've done. That's kind of bizarre. I'm kind of shocked by all of it.
I'm a little bit shocked too, because like I said, like, it's not like they don't have a relationship. It's not like they wouldn't be talking, or he wouldn't have met. Well, you never know. You never know. But at the same time, man, like, if somebody were to catch wind, and if they actually do have somewhat of a good working relationship, maybe would have given them a heads up, right? Now it depends on what you do with that heads up. Is what you do with it. Like if you chose to ignore it, then I guess this was the result of you just ignoring that. So we'll see.
We'll see. Over the past week, huge trade. Donovan Mitchell goes to Cleveland. It was another massive deal by Danny Ainge. They're calling him Trader Danny now. Colin Sexton, Lauri Markkanen, Ochai Obaji, and 3 first-round picks. He got 5 first-round picks for Gobert, so he's got 8 first-round picks, and it was a crazy, massive deal for Cleveland and for Utah. Knicks fans are all up in arms. They were really angry and mad. Supposedly, R.J. Barrett was part of a package that they put together. They said it was a better package than what Cleveland gave. And so all Knicks fans are really mad. But yeah, that's been big news this week. And supposedly Danny's not done. He's going to gut this roster right down to the right down to the foundation. Bojan Bogdanovic is rumored to go. The Lakers are trying to get him. The Suns are also front runners there. The Lakers are trying also to get Mike Conley, Jordan Clarkson. They're hot on the heels. They've already made a deal before to get a few players, and this could be another deal done by Danny Ainge, and what he's doing there in Utah is kind of crazy right now.
Well, Danny Ainge wants to put his fingerprints on the team, which is I'm going to destroy it and make it into what I want it to be. So this is going to definitely be whatever Danny Ainge creates out of this. This is definitely his team because he just basically firestormed and sold off every player on the roster. That's his plan. Get rid of everybody. So, but I think the real winner from this is definitely the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're definitely better with Donovan Mitchell. I think that's what they were missing this whole entire time was another guy that could create offense for himself and is a knockdown shooter from 3. That's everything that Donovan Mitchell is. And so with him in the back, is a running mate as Darius Garland as well, with Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. Oh man, I really like that team. I really like that team going forward.
They look super solid. They have they did lose a couple guys and acquiring these guys, but man, they got a great front court, great back court. Wow. But Utah, they got for the Gobert deal, they got Malik Beasley, Patrick Beverley, Jared Vanderbilt, Leandro Bomara, Walker Kessler, and 4 first rounders out of that. And now they got 3 first rounders for Mitchell. They're looking for more for Bogdanovic and some of the other guys. They did make that trade to send Beverly to the Lakers. They got Talen Horton-Tucker and Stanley Johnson there. And but yeah, supposedly they're talking more to do it. Lakers aren't afraid to make big trades. Anthony Davis, the trade they made to get him, they gave up Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, and 3 first-round picks. So there's a good chance that Lakers are going to get Bogdanovic. And Gordon Hayward has said he wants to go back to the Jazz for some strange reason. Maybe he wants to be the man there, I guess, because there won't be a lot of talent there from what they seem to be doing.
Yeah, no, I can see why Gordon Hayward would want to go back since there's nobody there. So there's nobody to take away shots from him. There's nothing there. It's like a wasteland. He'd be going to a wasteland of a basketball team. So if he wants to be known as the man, that's a very good destination for anybody that wants to do that.
Big rumors also, Carmelo Anthony on the move to the Celtics. Big rumor, supposedly in the coming days, he will be a Celtic. So that will be an interesting landing point for Carmelo.
Yeah, well, you know what? The man can still shoot, can still knock down that 3, still's got a silky smooth jumper. So this could be a good landing spot for him and for the Celtics.
Supposedly the Lakers are trying to clear cap space. They're trying to have guys with expiring contracts for the end of this coming season, and they're going to go after Kyrie Irving, make one last push for a NBA championship with LeBron in his last hurrah with the Lakers, or the last 1 or 2 seasons. And that's the rumor that I'm hearing now, that they're trying to get on these expiring contracts, so they'll have nothing on the books. They can bring in who he wants, and supposedly he wants to be back with Kyrie.
Which is amazing because of like just the way that it ended in Cleveland, where Kyrie left him because it wasn't to his liking. All I can say is whenever anybody gets into business with Kyrie, they usually don't do very well. Kyrie does all right, but you don't. So, all right, cool. Good luck. Hopefully he can win another one with him. LeBron's already done it once. Maybe he's talked himself into saying, I can do it again.
Well, look at the experiment with Russell Westbrook. That sure hasn't worked out. And everybody said, it's not going to work, LeBron. And he said, I can make it work. And he didn't. And now they can't seem to get rid of Westbrook. There's been so many rumors, but he's still there. And nobody wants him there. But he looks like they're going to start the season with Westbrook there.
Which is amazing because of the animosity. And I say that actually lightly, between him and Patrick Beverley. There's one thing that's probably going to happen if they actually both show up to camp. They're going to fight each other. There's going to be a fight. So if that's what they want to see throughout the course of the entire season, those two guys fighting each other, that's exactly what's going to happen. Definitely Westbrook, he's got to go.
I want to see it. I want to see it. Bring it on. I'll even pay some money to see that. That'd be great.
Well, I don't think you'll have to pay any money. I think it's just going to happen because they're like fire and oil. They're combustible. They come together, they're going to blow up. That's exactly what's going to happen.
I wonder if Jake Paul can put them on a card, make that happen somehow with some of his cards. Beverly Westbrook, can't wait. That'll be fun.
No, that I'm sure he's already licking his lips, going, no, that's a thing. It's good. And you know what? The fight is actually just going to be at the Staples Center. It's going to be easy, super easy.
Yeah, right.
That's going to be the halftime. That's going to be the halftime show.
I love it. Yeah, let's start the rumor.
Yeah, every Lakers game they're going to fight. Halftime show. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Oh man, that's fun. I'm shocked that it could happen. I didn't think Westbrook would be there this coming year because the fans seem to hate him. Nobody seemed to enjoy his presence there, and I guess when you're paying that big of a salary, nobody wants to take him. What else are you going to do?
Yeah, it's $47 million for a guy that's not worth it anymore, unfortunately, for Westbrook. But at the same time, I understand why he had to opt in, because it's $47 million. Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do.
Hey man, well, this was awesome. Dog days of summer are behind us. Back to school, back to work. Labor Day is in the rear view mirror pretty much. And glad you got a nice chill weekend so you can attack the work week ahead. And this was fun. I can't wait to chat with you a little bit as the week progresses, especially about the big game on Thursday.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to this, and I'm just looking forward to football being back in our lives again. Thank you. It's been long enough. Let's go.
All right, man. Cheers. Have a good night. We will talk soon.
All right. Cheers to you too.
Okay.
Have a good night.
Good night. Take care. Okay. Another edition of Complete Sports Media's podcast has come to an end. Thanks so much for watching, listening, sticking in. Appreciate your support as always. And I want to mention our partners and sponsors for the support as well. Anchor.fm, easiest place to make a podcast. And just go there. You can do exactly what Jason and I did here. Lots of fun. Verbero, the hockey equipment and apparel company, industry leader in technology, performance, and value. The V350 stick is a must-have. Go to our website and you can purchase it.
Pampas and Possibilities. They are great designers of West Coast things to spruce up your home and make it look amazing. Check them out on our website as well. And Forever Living, the aloe vera company for health and beauty products. And of course, you can go to our website and purchase products at discounted rates. So just go do that right now. You'll love all the products that we have there. So yeah, thanks, Jason. And thanks to everyone, all your support. We got a new little logo back here. I hope you guys like it. And yeah, we've got a lot of great things on the horizon. Check out our website, completesportsmedia.com or completemedianetwork.com, and tell your friends, tell your family. And yeah, we'll see you next week. Take care of yourself. Have a great week ahead. Love you. Bye for now.